What up, gentlemen? How y'all doing today? What's up,
What's
T's?
going on? What's going on, sir? Hey,
Man, you need to take that flag down behind your wall, man.
man, you know what I'm saying? It's the best of the best, man. I can't take it down, bro. You know that's just my heart, bro.
Don't take it down, bro.
Don't take it down.
No, don't take it down.
We have Mr. He's like, I don't know if he's black Italian or whatever. You know, his name is Ramon. Hey, Small, go ahead and see if you can say it like that.
Ramon.
Ramon. You gotta let it roll off your tongue. Mr. Pastor Ramon Davis.
Hey man, you know what I'm talking
about. Nah, man, I'm all Negro. That's it. And a little Indian.
We live in the best life. This is a little different, type of intro music right here. You've been through some things. I've been through some things. Mr. Smalls, I'm sure you have too. Welcome to Let's Talk Under the Tree. We're going to have a good time. We might have church a little bit. We live in the best life. Everybody get off your feet. Stand up. Clap your hand. Do what you got to do if you want to do it. Cut the game off. We live in a blessed life. What you think about that, Smalls?
Oh, yeah, man. Most definitely. Y'all know what, man? It's a good day, man, when you're blessed to see the day, man. For real.
Yes, it is.
It's a blessed day, and we got to give them all the praise, with all the things that's going on right now. That song was on my heart, and I had to play it. And that's your theme song, Mr. Ramon Davis, coming on here. You know what I'm saying?
I'm more than blessed, man.
Yeah. You're making a lot of history right now. You're the first person actually male to, ever tell your story. So you're making history all over the United States and overseas where this video is going to be shown at. And we thank you for coming on here. So we're going to give you a round of applause real quick. Thanks for coming.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate that. And you always have a home under the tree. You're relaxed. You're right at home. Your story is real interesting. I really don't know it, but we're going to tell it right now. A lot of males, go through this. My sister posted something about this topic about maybe 3 weeks ago that men go through domestic violence too, and they are domestic violence survivors also. So you feel free, tell it like it is. This is uncut. This is podcasting, so you're not on the radio. You can say how you feel, brother. You might, and I'm sure you will, help somebody else. Smalls will show that he's going to do the same thing. What do you feel about that? Because this is going to be a horrific maybe topic. It might not be horrific, but he's going to help somebody.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm not going to take up too much his time on telling his story, but without further ado, Mr. Davis, man, go ahead and tell the people, man, what you got to say, bro.
Well, I think the hardest thing to deal with as a man was allowing a woman to treat me the way that particular woman did. From just total embarrassment in front of friends to even one day I was attacked, ended up with 32 stitches. And sometimes I think it was 36 stitches. And sometimes what bothers me the most is that I didn't, do what I could have done to her. Meaning I really didn't hit her back other than to protect myself. And it was just, so for years I really dealt with that. I'm just really getting over, being insecure about that. And it literally left me feeling like less of a man because I didn't protect myself the way I could have. So I just give a short story, but then I'll tell what actually happened that particular day. So I was with this woman. I kind of knew her past, but I didn't know it was as violent as it was. Even though I knew about some of the violence, I still saw something in her, and we moved forward or whatever. As we would move forward and things got more and more serious, the violence started coming out more and more. At first it was verbal. I've been working 12-hour shifts for probably about the last 15 years. Sometimes I just would forget to take out the trash, forget to cut the yard, be sleep a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, what kind of man are you? You don't even cut the yard. You don't take out the trash. You know, just always belittling me in my mistakes. You know, so that's kind of how it started out. It started out verbal. It began to get physical. She like pushed me. She'll slap me. I really wouldn't do nothing back because I was taught not to hit a woman. I didn't grow up around men hitting women. Honestly, I can't even tell you when my parents argued. They mostly took all that to the room. So when she started hitting me, it was like a totally new experience. I was like, man, what the hell is happening? I didn't really know how to process it. I didn't go to a lot of people while it was happening because I was embarrassed. So I kind of just dealt with it. I remember one day, probably about a month before the incident I'm gonna share, we were having a stupid argument over a phone conversation I had with one of my friends, and he had a female call me because he didn't comprehend things well, so he had a female call me to help him out. So I give them the information or whatever the night before. The next morning, I'm on my way to work, getting ready for work, and she's just going off, literally blocking me from leaving to go to work, to the point where I had to literally grab her and hold her down. As I'm holding her down, she's scratching me, punching me. I didn't know she had a knife in her hand. Somehow she got the knife out and cut me right up under my eye. So, some words were said. I moved and pushed her out the way. And I used to ride my bicycle to work. So I just, somehow I got out the house, moved her out the way. I noticed my under my eye was bleeding. So I ran back in the house to make sure she didn't actually, mess my eye up. Hopped on my bike, went to work. I was about 2 hours late for work. A couple of guys kind of knew what was going on at work, at home from work, but not really. So I just came up with a lie like some rock flew up, hit me in the eye. It was a bunch of lying going on. I couldn't concentrate where I worked at a chemical plant at the time. I was making all kinds of mistakes. I was messing up bad. Ended up losing that job. So yeah, she did that. So I'm gonna just move on to the incident, the major incident. So it was on Easter about 4 years ago. I still had the scratch under my eye. We go to my parents' house. I got on shades. I mean, just like you see in the Lifetime movies with the women wearing shades to cover up their eyes, cover up their bruises, wearing long shirts. I've done all that, just really to protect her and to protect me at the same time. So the day of the incident, we're on the phone with one of her friends and we're just arguing. I'm like, yo, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. One of us is gonna get really hurt. I just don't want to do this anymore. So it was an incident with my daughter at the time, and I thought she had literally kidnapped my daughter. I didn't know where my daughter was. She was supposed to drop my daughter off to school. So I'm like, I called her on the phone, like, look, if you did something to my daughter, you can go ahead and cancel your life. I'm going to kill you if something happened to my daughter. So I said that. Couldn't find out my daughter was fine. She actually took my daughter to her mother. And once that was cool, I called somebody else. I was like, yo, I need to get away from here. So she finally gets back home. I'm trying to remember it all. It happened a while ago. She finally gets back home and we're sitting on my front porch. Like I said, we had been in fights numerous times. So I called the cops. We were staying over there in Talleyrand. So, it took the cops a while to get there. I called the cops. I'm like, hey, I need y'all to escort me. I'm trying to leave. I don't want nothing to happen. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to leave my wife, trying to get my kids and go. So the cops get there. Well, no, I'm sorry. So right when I hang up the phone with the cops, I'm sitting on the top step. Right when I hang up the phone, she pushes my head down and brings a knife across my neck. It was one of them steak knives with the little rivets in them. So I jump off the porch. I'm like, oh, I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm like, I'm finna go see Jesus. I'm rubbing on my neck. I literally felt the blade go across my neck. I jump off the front porch. I think I'm dead. I think I'm about to go see Jesus. I'm done with. I look at my hands. There wasn't no blood on my hands. I'm like, oh man, I'm all right. So I'm thinking that's the end. She comes down off the porch. She begins attacking me with the knife. She tries to stab me. I hold both hands down. Then as I'm holding her hands down, the hand with the knife is going like this. It's going like this across my hands. So she was literally scraping with me with the knife. I'm holding her down still, asking her to just stop. I'm trying my best not to hit her. She bites me. And she don't just bite me. She literally chews into my skin, my arm. And so I punched her to get off me. She backed up. She was like, oh, that hurt. Like, yeah, like stop. But she was gone, man. Like her eyes were totally black. I remember that vividly. Her eyes were totally black. She was gone. So she came at me again, same thing. Hold her down. She's scraping me with the knife. Bites me again. But she doesn't bite as hard the next time. So I just pull away. The neighbors are yelling at her, telling her to stop, stop, stop. They're yelling her name, asking her to stop. The neighbors also called the cops too. The cops still, this is 6-7 minutes in. It felt like a lifetime at the time, but it's like 6-7 minutes in. The cops still haven't shown up. That could probably be a whole nother podcast. The cops still haven't shown up. And so I'm holding her down again, trying to stop her. Mind you, I honestly probably could have just beat the living hell out of her and it would have been done. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I honestly just wanted it to be over. And I didn't really want to hurt her for some reason. So she's coming at me with the knife again. I actually grab the knife with my hand. I break it off. I throw the top piece on the ground. She when I do that, she grabs the top piece and cuts me. I don't know if y'all can see it on here, but she cuts my arm wide open. So I had just walked away. I thought I was dying again. It was blood just coming out my arm. I walked to the neighbor's yard and I literally just passed out. Come to find out later that she actually stabbed me in my back. I didn't even know it. I had a 1-inch stab wound in my back. I didn't even know it because I was so focused on my arm bleeding. So I just passed out. I just gave up. Once I passed out, she walked away. She drove off. Mind you, we had kids in the house and they were at the window watching all this. But they were babies. I realize I'm not dead again. I get up, I go into the neighbor's house. They gave me a towel to wrap up my wound. I run back across the street to check on the kids, but by that time somebody had already gotten there and got the kids for me. After all that, the cops finally show up. And I hop in the ambulance and head to the hospital. They're checking me all over. I'm asking them because as I'm holding her down, sometimes she would break away. And I had a bald head at the time too, and she would go for my head, trying to scratch my head. So I'm in the ambulance like, yo, I know she scratched my head. I got blood on my head though. I think I asked them that like 30 times. It was like, sir, no, you're fine. I was like, okay. So they examined me when I get to the hospital. They they examined my whole body. I had a stab wound in my stomach. I had one in my back. I had scrapes and bites all over me. My left arm, I got 2 long marks right there. Where she split me open, that wound alone had probably half of the 36 stitches. They had to sew the white meat back together and then sew my skin back together. Stitch my skin back together. I had like 36 stitches all together, and that's pretty much was the end of that. But there was so much stuff that happened before that. It's pretty crazy.
Wow, that's deep.
It is.
Wow.
Man.
Did you see any signs previously of her being as violent as she was with you?
You know, it's crazy. My granddad was in the hospital, and that's the first thing he said. He said, "You didn't see this coming." So I'm like, I mean, you see it, but you never expect it to get like that. I never expect somebody to want to kill me, especially somebody I loved, just because I was leaving.
Mr. Smalls, I'm going to put a question up here. Could you please read that real quick?
Brother, in my opinion, the first time she pulled a weapon that could hurt or kill you, the relationship should have been over way. Why did you stay?
That's the question of the day. I'm pretty sure you can ask 1,000 women the same thing. You'll probably get 1,000 different answers. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The one thing I will, like I told Brother Leander before we started, I was like, the one thing I wish I would have done was call the cops the first time. Because when the officer came to the hospital, he was coming to arrest me. Now, mind you, I got attacked. I'm the one bleeding.
Right. She
left the scene.
Right.
He was coming to the hospital to arrest me. And my mom warned me of that. She said, "Be ready to go to jail." So I was pretty much ready. But he was like, if it wasn't for everything happened outside, that couldn't have been nobody but God. Everything happened outside, or the whole attack happened outside. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really have an answer for that. I just, in my head, like, I always knew I could beat her up. I guess I don't know. I don't have a real answer for that.
Well, it's crazy, man. That you mentioned the police part. That's what he came there to arrest you without even asking you, "Hey, sir, are you okay? Are you what's going on?" Or no investigation about what happened. What happened? Just slap the handcuffs on. We know you the one who started it all. That's why you got all the wounds and everything you got. You know what? That's just the that right there goes to show you that's just a stereotype on men like us, man. We supposed to be the ones that always is the aggressor,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And the women get off. I'm not saying all women,
right?
But some women get off on this because the female factor. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's I would feel some type of way, man. Like, look, man, you come in here to arrest me and not even asking me if I'm okay, how I'm doing. What, man, that would have had me mad.
If it wasn't for the neighbors, I probably would have went to jail. And that's probably another reason most men don't say anything, because they probably feel like they won't be believed. You already embarrassed, you allowed a woman to do you like that, and now you're calling the cops on the woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like you can't win. And and when I remember when my mom said it to me, I darn near cried. Like, I'm the one in the hospital and she ran away, and they coming to arrest me. But I just calmed down. I prepared myself to go to jail. Yeah, he didn't ask me how I was doing or nothing. He walked in, he was like, "Man, I came to take you to jail, but all the neighbors said she started it." So then he kind of just walked out after that.
I mean, was she arrested?
Yeah, she ended up doing a little time for it. Yeah, she ended up getting arrested and going to jail.
Since all this has passed, are you aware of any mental health disorders that she might have been diagnosed with after the fact?
Yeah, so I was told she at the time was dealing with PTSD, postpartum, and something else. Because she had kids like back to back to back. And at the time I didn't care, because I felt like those were just excuses until I really looked up, the that stuff is serious, you know, and I just ended up being the person that took the blunt end of it.
For all the things that you went through, man, were you prepared to basically go to prison? Did you have a mental block that you might commit murder or just go to prison and you're just going to have to, you know, deal with that for, you know, the rest of your life?
You mean like if I would have stayed with her?
Right. Yes.
Oh yeah, like that's why that day of the argument. That's what I told her. I was like, one of us gonna die if we stay in this, and I can't do it. And that's how that day started. I woke up. We had already been talking about, you know, leaving. I had already been talking about leaving, but that morning, I don't know what came over me that morning. I think after leaving my parents' house and with the shades on, and I'm like, I really feel like I'm in a Lifetime movie. I think that was it for me. That was pretty much it for me. I was done. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Wow. In the African American community, we go through things, especially what you went through. That's kind of horrific. As far as your mental state, did you have to go, you know, talk to a psychiatrist, or how do you handle that day to day? Because this is something that you're probably going to think about the rest of your life. You know, you said you was cut to the white meat from the back to the arms. That's nothing. What you had, 30 something stitches. That's something that's something that's not easy to get over. You know, so how do you handle that? I know by the grace of God, you stay up in prayer. So what do you do is like your regimen? Because you seem happy by somebody looking at you. They'll never know you went through that.
Yeah, praise God. I don't want to get preachy or nothing, but honestly, it's I'm not saying I don't need to talk to anybody professionally, but to this point, it's literally been crying out to God. It's
Before you continue, you can get preachy on here. We're talking under the tree. It's all
right,
baby.
right.
You can do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm trying not to cry.
No, do it. Do what you got to do.
This situation, my relationship with God on a whole nother level.
Amen.
Oh yeah.
Every scar, every piece of blood that dropped, it just brought me closer to God.
Right.
Like sometimes I regret it until I realized how tight me and God are now. It wasn't nobody but God that knife didn't cut through my neck. Like they couldn't even bring up the charges because I didn't have any bruises on my neck.
Right.
Like so that part of the story really don't matter. Over the years, it was just me and my mom and my dad and my sister just fighting through it all. And then I don't want to plug in my church, but my apostle and pastor had revitalized Apostle Robertson and Pastor Robertson. They really just accepted where I was, and the love they showed me, it like filled all that in.
Right.
And then I got my wife now, and she just it's just like they all filled in every part of me that I lost that day. Like the romantic side left that day, the nice guy left that day. A lot of that bloodshed, a lot of me was on that ground that day. And I literally had to fight to build myself back up. And then when I came to revitalize, my apostle and pastor, man, they just I don't even think they know all of this about this story, but just the genuine love. I was missing genuine love. I didn't trust anybody. I went through some things after that that just further made me not trust anybody. And it's powerful how love truly covers a multitude. And if you have genuine love, you can really change somebody's life around.
Right. Amen.
Right.
I want to give you some words of encouragement. It's kind of tied into what you just said. A few years back, I was in a relationship, and I used to do landscaping on the side. So I cried and I said, I can't believe this lady turned my kids against me. Okay. Now moving forward, when you go through things like you went through, you don't know what God is doing because we can't see that at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But when I went through that, I can say now I'm a living testimony. I'm glad I went through it because sometimes God will give you a setback for a setup. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And that's what happens to all of us. We don't understand it at the time, but now I can say, thank you, Jesus. I understand what he was doing. No matter how, it could have happened to you. Sorry for the physical scars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, God already knew that was going to happen in your life.
Yes, he
But
did.
you're still alive and, you're still blessed. That's why I play the song, You Live in a Blessed Life.
I am.
And I'm glad I went through it, and I'm glad he took me through it because I've been blessed 10 times more.
Come on.
You got some more blessings coming. You might not see exactly what it's going to be yet. It might be a year, it might be tonight. I don't know. The man upstairs know all this,
Right.
But everything happens for a reason. And I was just like anybody else. Why me, this and that?
Yeah.
Crying on the lawnmower, true story. Riding, cutting the grass, and all this right here. But now I understand. So later on in your life, I'm sure you have some blessings. If you ever come across and see her in the store, maybe y'all can speak. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Hey, what's crazy? Like, me and her good, man. Like, we had a child together. And the most powerful thing I could have done was forgive her.
Right.
I watched a message by TD Jakes, right? Look, probably about a week after it happened. And he was talking about forgiveness and the power of it. And the most important thing I could have done in my life was forgive her. It ain't been easy. Even after I forgave her, I was still angry. Forgiveness is a process, especially after something like that. I do want to say this, like, if I can encourage any man or woman going through this, don't make excuses for that person. Just get out of there. Whatever you got to do, if you got to start all the way back over, if you got to lose everything, my children need a happy daddy.
Yeah.
My wife need a happy husband. I would encourage anybody, just get out of the situation, because for some people they might change, but do you really want? Is your life really worth risking a mite? Just get out of there. If any man's going through it and you're not ready to leave yet, call the cops after it happens the first time. You might go to jail. I don't know. Just man, do what you got to do to have it on file. So if it does escalate because you didn't leave, at least you have on record that this is a pattern. This ain't nothing new.
Amen. That's real powerful.
That. Oh yeah.
And you just keep on, fighting the fight, stay prosperous. I know it's one day at a time. That's all you can really do. You know what I'm saying? But, with me, it's kind of tied into your strength. When we go through things as a man, I kind of understand what you're saying, because like I said, you get, we have some setbacks for a setup. You don't see it now.
Right.
What you've been through, maybe you have, and there's some blessings coming your way. You know what I'm saying? Because if my kids come to me right now and say, "Oh, we're sorry, we haven't talked to you in 8 years," it don't bother me. I can share my testimony. I tell them, thank you. I would never be in this position talking to you right now with a podcast or the luxuries of the things that I, obtained. If it wasn't for that, I would laugh at it. Thank you, for making me prosperous. So with you, I'm coming back to you. Don't worry about what happened. She made you prosperous. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Smalls, what you were saying was true too. It's a double standard when it comes to from a man, woman or woman to a man with domestic violence.
Right. It goes both ways. It's a two-way street. The laws just don't represent one person and not the other. It's the same thing. It's made for everybody. It's supposed to be an equal playing field, although we don't see the equal playing field a lot. But just as well, it could have been the other way around. Now, just imagine if it was vice versa, man. The repercussions for you would have probably been twice as worse than
I would
for her.
probably still be in jail.
Right.
No
trying
doubt.
to fight for your freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And things of that nature. You got the scars to prove it, my brother, man. I'm happy that you made it through that, man. It's unfortunate you had to go through that,
Yeah.
but something better came out of that. Look how it is right now. And just like Mr. Palmer said, it's even more blessings coming your way. But I commend you because you found it in your heart to open up your heart to somebody that's special to you in your life right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have a wife that's in your life that understands exactly what you went through and doesn't want to put you in that same situation that you've been in before. So
Mm-hmm.
at least you had time to heal, to
Mm-hmm.
allow that to happen. That's the only way that could happen. You had allowed yourself time to heal for her to come in, for you to be in the situation you are right now. So I commend you. And you're still here, you're alive and well, bro. I mean, you're talking to us, sharing your
Yeah.
story, and people need to hear this. It just don't go one way, because you always hear about, women getting abused and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you, my brother, my cousin was a victim, man. She's not here today to tell her story.
Mm.
She's not here today. So when I hear stories like this, it's real close to me because it hit me a year ago in my family.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin is no longer here to tell her story.
Mm.
She's not a survivor. She didn't survive. You here
My
and
God.
you survived yours. She didn't
Praise God.
survive hers. So she has family members like me and my cousins and aunties and stuff to tell her stories and to be an advocate for her, to let people know that this thing is real,
It
man.
is
This
real.
is real. This is
And
real.
it goes back to the when I think about it, it goes back to the mental issues in our community. Our community deal with so many mental issues that go untouched, unhandled. We looking for your past. You go to church looking for your pastor to be a psychiatrist, psychologist. They're not trained. Some of them are not trained to do that, and so
Correct.
you're left to deal with these emotions that some. I ain't trying to play the race card, but since white people seem to be better off than a lot of us, have a better chance, they get to go to the psychologist, they
Yep.
get to handle these things, and we do not. We have to go to free services if they have them, so it was a lot of issues that that woman dealt with, that needed professional help.
Mm-hmm.
The justice system failed her. It's a lot of systems that failed her. You know what I'm saying? And I said, unfortunately, I was the one who took the blunt end of it. But it just goes back to a lot of the needs our community really, really needs at this time.
Right.
Right. We have a question for you, Mr. Smalls. Go ahead and do what you do.
Did he make complaints against the police department? I would have. I would have had to say something about that.
That's a no. I did not. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I would have, because what they did is they automatically stereotype you, man, just to say, hey, it was your fault, without even investigating to see if it was your fault. I would have I would have probably had an issue with that one.
Yeah, I honestly, man, everything was. You gotta understand something I ain't never went through, something I ain't never seen. So
Correct.
I wasn't thinking about
Understandable.
no complaints. But my first state was shocked.
Right.
Like, I can't believe this just happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then my second state was, it was more of insecurity, and that's the state I stayed in for a long time. Insecurity and depression.
Right.
Because you tell your homeboys, you tell your friends, oh, it couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. You get all that, or you tell other people, and it's like they want to empathize with you, but they don't really understand. Or I've gotten in stone cold arguments, straight cussing people out about the situation because I wasn't looking for it. Couldn't have been me. I was looking for, man, are you all right? Dang, brother, like. And then unfortunately, I wasn't around people who had been through the light. You're not gonna find a lot of men who are gonna own up to what I'm owning up to. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I went for help at I forgot the name of the domestic abuse place that I went to. It's a good place. I wish I could remember the name right now. And I walked in there and I was so embarrassed. It was a room full of women and I was the only man. But I needed help. I went to the back. The lady brought me to the back. And what even was more embarrassing, I went to elementary school with the girl. So
wow.
I went to the back and I'm just like, boy, I'm so embarrassed right now. She was like, you'd be surprised how many men come through here. So she was trying to calm me down, but it's hard to, as a man, you the protector, you big bad, you know, ain't nobody supposed to do you. Ain't no man gonna do you like that. So darn sure ain't
Right.
no woman gonna do you like that.
Right.
But you know, I held back for whatever reason. And here I am.
From now on, brother, never be ashamed if you got to get help. You know, counseling is not a time frame. It doesn't matter. You know, in our community, we get laughed at a lot. He or she is crazy. They're braided and something's wrong with them. You know, don't worry about that. You know,
Right.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with talking to somebody. Hey, Small,
Right.
let me back it up a little bit. Why do you think in our community, what's the problem, man, about going to get, you know, counseling with a mental health advisor?
Pride, man. It's a pride factor, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no help. We all right. That's just the way he been raised. He been raised like that. That boy there, man, don't even worry about that. He there or she there or that.
Yeah.
Look, man, we need to stop doing that, man, and take account for this mental health issue, man. That been a issue. It's just, this is not just now starting, man. Mental health has been an issue for centuries, decades. You know what I'm saying? Hundreds of years, man. This is just not something that just happening. It's more, it takes hold more in the Black community, because we are the ones at the end of the day, man, that actually get the short end of the stick, man, when it comes to help and all these and all the stuff that's supposed to be beneficial for us, that's supposed to be an equal playing field. Like I said before, it's really not an equal playing field. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, man, how people just ignore the fact that, you know, your loved ones may need help, or somebody that you know may need help. People will ignore it, for real. I'm telling you, man. And it's like, oh, don't worry about that. That's crazy. That's just Crazy Joe from down the street. He been like that all his life.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And you got to think, man, we came straight from the bottom. Our pride was all we had.
Right.
I'm saying, so and instead of channeling that pride and changing with the times, we held on to it since slavery, since we came out of slavery.
Right.
Our pride was all we had. That's why we had to be strong. We couldn't show emotions. We had to take a whipping and literally keep on ticking. So our pride is something that we had to hold on to, because we were beaten up so bad.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to give a moment of silence for maybe about 10 seconds to this man right here.
Yes, God.
Amen.
Amen.
He passed away, I think it was today or yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Bishop Rance Allen. He can blow, can he?
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah, one of the best.
Yes, sir.
But I'm glad, you know, you still smiling, man. And hey, that's all that matters, you know?
That's it.
Right. And I'm sure you heard this before. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Russell Simmons said that.
Yes, he did.
Right. He did. We have one last question right here. Mr. Smalls, do what you do.
Let's speak facts. In the Black community, I was raised that it was nothing wrong. They already want to say it's a spirit. Yes, it's a spirit, but hey, let's also get help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I can. Whoever said that, yeah, I can agree with that one, because I heard that before. Yeah.
I mean, even though it's a spirit, even after you get delivered or whatever you go through, you still might want to seek some help.
Right.
Because that spirit might have caused some really mental trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So but you know, that's that pride again. Like that was the pride. That's all that is. That pride we hold on to, that because that's all we had.
Right.
You know? But I'm a firm believer in getting help. I just haven't done it yet, but I'm going. My wife gonna make me.
Okay, it's all good, man. You know,
hey, man, it's all good, man. It's no time limit, time schedule, brother. When you feel comfortable enough to open yourself up, and I'm glad that you are comfortable with us to share your story, with not only with us, but with our viewers. It's all about when you comfortable, man. So hey, take your time. You got a support group around you now, so
yes, I do.
You know what I mean? Just do what you got to do, man. To let follow your heart. That's all I can tell you. Follow what your heart tell you to do.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. We appreciate you, Pastor Ramon. Say it, hey, Small, say it. Hit it, Small.
Ramon, Ramon
Yes, sir.
Davis.
Sounds like
Appreciate y'all, man.
Italian. I bet you ate some spaghetti today.
He might have did with the Italian bread.
Extra butter.
Y'all
We
crazy,
appreciate you, man, for joining us under the tree today, brother.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
always remember, sometimes you have to set back for a setup. Don't worry about what people say, man. You know,
Yes, sir.
that's why I played this song for you. You having a blessed life. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Yeah. And
Sure, I appreciate y'all, man.
yeah, you're gonna continue to have a blessed life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That Small, sing your song. You thought I forgot. Hit it.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine?
Hey.
Oh, won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Oh, won't you be my neighbor?
There you go. We appreciate everybody today. Don't forget to wear your mask. COVID is real. Don't forget to vote, whoever you're going to vote for. But I'm going to put a picture up on here who Smalls voted for. I don't know who this candidate is. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Another party. I'm going to see if I can find it now. Hold on, Smalls. You might get it.
Hey, look like you thumbing through it. You got a whole bunch of them in there.
This is who you voted for right here.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
That
maybe I'm
man's
wrong. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe it's the truth.
Hey man. Hey man got a piece of cabbage or something on his face, man. He got to do what he got to do, bro. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
man, that's one thing about Black folk. We'll make the best out of any situation.
Right. Hey, it's called ingenuity, my brother.
Yes, sir.
y'all be safe. It's gonna be a little chilly all across the United States this week right here, I think so.
Oh yeah, start tomorrow morning.
Yeah. But we live in a blessed life, just like the song said. Thanks for watching Let's Talk Under the Tree. I'm Mr. Palmer. T. Smalls in the house. Mr. Ramon Davis, pastor. All the way from Duval County, Jacksonville Jaguars. That's another story for another day.
Go Jags, man.
Right.
But y'all peace out, and I'll holler at y'all later.